And we'll... Oh. Alright, let's try it again. And welcome to week number 5 of the MEA Proto Orca and Touring Car Championship Series. I'm SSR Mayhem bringing you live action here today at Hockenheim. Right now we're just getting these B lobby guys off to the races for their hour-and-a-half event. And then we will be jumping over to the A lobby here in just a few moments so that we can get that A lobby action in for you guys today. And looking forward to this one as confirmation of 20 drivers seem to have made the field in A lobby. We have about 12 here, so that's exciting as well for the B lobby. So another strong week. We've been able to manage 2 lobbies per week, and that's really exciting and comes to show you that multi-class racing is a very popular form of racing, at least in the Forza community. So we're definitely looking forward to possibly bringing stuff like this back in the near future at MEA. But here we go. The green flag for the B lobby guys are off, and we can get our way out of here so that we can move on and get to that A lobby group. And we're going to hop over with them. And all right, so let's try to join off somebody with good connection. All right, so let's take a look here. See if these guys have gotten their lobby set up. It doesn't look like it yet. It looks like that's what they're doing now. So they're creating a brand new lobby. They're getting things good going. So we're just gonna follow along with them. And in that time frame, we are going to, well, we're going to take a minute to get things settled in, and just stay tuned, and we'll get everything underway here momentarily. So looks like we're just getting the lobby set up, and that's always exciting. So let's hope this time, because last time, 2 weeks ago, we did this, and we had some problems on my end. But with last week's disconnect, we want to try to avoid any possibilities of, you know, having any more issues. So we're trying to just keep that safety net going. We should be able to. Oh, let me have to try to reload. It wasn't letting me spectate. So we're off to a grand old start. How about it? And let's try this again. I think I need to go get a drink of water. Oh, I hit the wrong buttons. Alright, so just stay tuned, and I'll be right back, and we should be going racing here very soon, very, very soon, so just stay tuned. right. So I just got a little swig of water, which is what I needed actually. So that was always, a big thing when you're commentating. You don't want to get a dry mouthful. So they're just setting up the race lobby right now. We could do a little bit of a run through for this one. So let me get the sheet up here. We will go over this. Alright, so starting on the front row for the prototype cars, it's Jim Hydra with ESV Scottson. In the second row, it's SSR Bobberts alongside SSR Nicole. After that, it goes to SSR Shane and Zenith 5280. GRT The Rock in his first A lobby appearance next to RDE Jansen. SSR Inc. and Jamster will round out the prototype field. And one moment here. Let's see here. They want me to check on something real quick. Just to make sure everything's okay. Yeah, everything's fine. Alright. Alright, so that's taken care of. Now let's go to our A-Lobby touring car field. RBM Playhard, who will not be with us today, he's been having disconnecting issues all season long and has decided to retire for the rest of the season due to his uncontrollable connection. So a very unfortunate, probably one of the most dominant guys in the series if given the chance. Probably could have won the championship, but disconnects have prevented him from that. So starting on the pole position this week is RBM Stance alongside SSR Yami. Currently in a points battle with RD Brito next to SSR Outlaw in that second row. Then we got GRT Let's Fly next to the Derp Police, who's been on and off this season with A to B lobby, but he had a good run this week. Mexa alongside FLA Jams. SMXJ Yankee alongside FLA Feedy. SSR Goose back in the A lobby right next to FLA Condor, and then Track Johnny will round out that field. And Track Johnny, it's his first appearance in the series this season, as he's been trying to juggle around other series, so glad to have him with us. And as they get the lobby set up and ready to go, we will be going here momentarily. So a little bit of a delay, but these are things that we wanted. Like I said earlier, we wanted to take those extra precautions this week, and we just wanted to make sure that we give Xbox and Force of the Fighting chance to stay connected for today's hour-and-a-half race here in MEA. So looked like somebody randomly joined, shouldn't have been here, but he's no longer in here. Let's see. So, looks like they're just getting the lineup set up now. So, with everything going on in the world, obviously a lot more people are playing Xbox Live, and that's affected some of the way that people have been able to play. And for esports and organizations that are trying to host events, it makes it a little bit difficult for us as well. And obviously last week was a big unfortunate circumstance. We were an hour in the racing, then the whole Forza server had distinguished our lobby, unfortunately, which ended up having to balance a point system that became fair amongst all those drivers in the A lobby. Now obviously B lobby was able to finish and they were able to get their respective points. We did a good balance of where we needed to get the A lobby guys their points and not let those B lobby guys get too many points where they would over exceed the A lobby guys who rightfully were in their lobby, and then obviously the people that didn't race got their lower points. But We got a new system in place if this ever happens again, and we just wanted to let everybody know that we do apologize, for the inconvenience of last week's issues, and obviously the most, unfortunate circumstances was towards the drivers who put in all the time and the effort. Obviously, our builds team who tried to make last week's race so competitive, and honestly, Sebring was going to be one of the best races we saw all season long. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to get a highlight reel for the Virginia and Sebring race, but unfortunately I don't think we'll be able to get the ones for Virginia, but we're trying to get a little bit of a highlight reel of last week's race. It's just really unfortunate with the way things have been going, but we're hoping that between both B and A today, we know that the B was strong last week finishing it out, but hopefully the A lobby can squeeze on through this week and not have any big issues. So. So it looks like somebody's having a hard time staying connected. And I think that's Jamster, believe it or not. We'll have to see. Force has been very nitpicky with things lately, and we're just trying to hope that it holds up strong for this race and we can get everybody moving on the right track. So you see Hydra up there, so he's ready to go. Obviously, it's always tough when things don't go well, and we're running into that little problem today with we're trying to get things set up early, so when I join, we can just go, but I had to get Outlaw to do it for us, so we're just trying to get everything squared off and ready to go here. Not sure what just happened here. Looks like some of the drivers are leaving the lobby. So I think they're making a new lobby. There must have been some loading issues within this lobby, so looks like they're gonna have to make another one, and that's okay. I mean, it's not something, things happen, and we have to adapt to the sort of changes that come with it. So we're gonna create a new lobby, it looks like, and we're gonna get things squared off, and hopefully we can get this race in by 3 p.m. Also 8 o'clock in the UK and 3 p.m. Eastern time. Obviously some of these drivers have another event coming up after this, and we don't want them to wait too long to do that. So we're just trying to get everybody in here. I know Outlaw's doing his best right now to getting that all set up, and hopefully we'll get going racing here very soon. So it was probably just a loading issue for one of the drivers, and we're definitely gonna get things rolling here. So it looks like everybody's back in here for the most part. Let's see. Looks like Jamster again is not in here. Yeah, it's Jamster. Well, we'll get him back in here. He can jump off my connection since I'm not hosting it. Always trying to adapt here at MEA. Do our best to make things happen, and looks like they're all getting ready, so that's good. Okay, so it looks like everybody's back in. Jamster and Diamond Man, both drivers in both two different drivers in two different categories there, have made a lobby this week because somebody wasn't going to make the race and there was room. So those guys get the fortunate starting position of last on the grid. Obviously, Scott's debating if he needs to go to the restroom or not, so that's always exciting to see. You know, someone eager to go, but might actually have to go. But it looks like Outlaw's getting everything set up and ready to go. And you know, in the 3 years of MEA, we always talk about growth here, and one of the more exciting things about doing what we've been able to do here, going on our third season is. Just seeing the numbers of people that start joining, and when you see numbers grow and you're getting more lobbies, obviously it's a good sign that you're doing the right stuff. And here at MEA, we appreciate all the staff, the hardworking staffers that take the time to get things going in the direction that it needs to be. And we're great, we're happy, and not every series is gonna be good as the last one. Not every event's gonna be as fluent as another, but obviously the drivers that show up, the support we get from the drivers themselves, is always a nice thing to see. And I had issues readying up there, so I'm going to jump back into it. Thank you, Hydra, for that. Hydra's getting me back in here. I try to join people that tend to have better connections, so that you don't always focus on the one person in the lobby who's hosting it, because then it comes, it turns into a little bit of a issue with trying to get everything going. And it looks like they're pretty much ready to go. It looks like Jamster again needs to get in here. And I think all my cars are finally loaded up. Yeah, they're starting to load up finally. Yep. Yep. It's the battle of wits here. Who can stay in the lobby? Who can't? It's really what it comes down to a lot of these times. So the issue is people are having a hard time readying up right now. So. I don't know why. What's going on here? They didn't set up the grid order. Oh, they did set up the grid order. Okay. Well, I guess we're good. So it looks like Jamster's the only driver that wasn't able to stay connected, and he'll get last in A lobby points. So everyone knows, because he wasn't able to connect. So as we get ready to go green here. So we're sad to see that Jamster couldn't stay connected. Alright, so I had to send Jamster a message, and if you guys don't know, I am the owner of MEA, and it's my job to, reach out to drivers and other people that participate in our series. And, it's always a time to, make sure that everyone understands, we do everything we can here at MEA to make it as well balanced when it comes to cars, to making things happen so that we can give everybody the possible opportunity to compete. And Jamster reached back out to me just now, and he's okay with the situation. Obviously, he's having issues with staying connected, so unfortunate for him. But we obviously need to get the show rolling, and here we go. So we're getting around to the last couple of turns. It's ESV Scots and Hydra 1 and 2. Hydra's actually first, but beside the point. And they're going to be battling again. And Hydra's trying to get caught up in the point standings right now. It's really tight between these two. These two are the only two that look like are going to be possible champions unless something dramatic here happens to where these other guys behind them can. But here we go. Green Flag Racing is underway here at Hockenheim, and Hydra will lead the prototype field. Meanwhile, here comes the touring car class. It is Stance to take the check. Well, we're already ending the race early, are we? It's Yami who's leading the race. And, Burrito's dipping in there and nudges into Stance. And here we go. An hour and a half of racing underway here at MEA. So, Yami off to a good start. We'll go back there and ride with the fourth place driver, Outlaw. Battling with Burrito side by side. Points leader right now, RD Burrito, as he goes to the inside of Outlaw. 3 wide into the hairpin. Let's Fly try to make an appearance there and made it really tight. So that bounced back Burrito position. And Goose got loose back there. We'll hop back on these guys in a little bit. And Hydra and Scottson had a mistake. And Scottson is way behind. Looks like something happened. And Scottson's got full damage on the car, and he will have to go to the pits. So not sure what happened to the points leader, ESV Scottson, but that really dampers his race to start this one. Meanwhile, Hydra had also dropped back to the 7th spot, so Hydra is going to have to fight back up through the field of prototypes, but that gives SSR Nicole the lead right now here in the prototypes. It's her first time leading an MEA Proto Orca and Touring Car Series, and she has got a little bit of a gap to Shane and Ink. So it looks like not only those two guys in the front had an issue, but other drivers like Bobberts and Jansen probably just got caught to the tail end of that as we ride on with GRT The Rock, who just passed SSR Inc. for that 3rd position right now, and you see Bobberts' teammate right behind him. And there's a 4-car battle for that 3rd spot right now. And you see Hydra tagging along. Shane's battling with SSR Nicole for the race lead. RD Burrito drops back another position to SMXJ Yankee. Whoa! And it looks like Hydra had entered the pits as well. So Hydra is also into the pits, and GRT The Rock doing some battling here with Ink and Bobberts right now. Scottson, he's in a really bad spot right now. He had to make that pit stop, and he's behind all the touring car drivers right now. And let's get an onboard view with Scottson as he has to cut up through this field. trying to make light work of it. And Hydra was able to sneak out in front of these drivers. And the touring car class really tight still, as you can see here. Proto looks to be inside of SMXJ Yankee, and Scottson as well. He makes it 3 wide right there. Proto doing side-by-side battling with Yankee, and he'll take over that 5th spot again. And Scottson should be clear now. So a tough start for ESV Scottson, and obviously, he's slicing between stances there and almost yamming. Meanwhile, Let's Fly and Outlaw doing some battling for that 3rd spot. So Scottson has caught up to Hydra, and it looks like Hydra either made a mistake or decided whatever had happened to those 2 drivers, he waited up for Scottson, and now they're going to do some battling together. So maybe some good sportsmanship there by 2 of the championship points series leaders, as they are really battling for a title. So let's go check up to the race leader of the prototype class, that'd be SSR Nicole. She's still doing some battling right now with Shane. Meanwhile, Bobberts has gotten around Inc. for the 4th spot. And let's go check out that touring car class, the race battle right now. I believe Stance had caught back up, or maybe he did, but he lost a little ground. He's trying to track down SSR Yami right now. Meanwhile, 3rd place points fight battle right now for DRT Let's Fly. He's in a fight between him and Mex's Zaterup. And right now, Zaterup, I believe he's a little further back in the field. He's back there in 9th right now. But he's in battling with SSR Goose right here. Goes to the inside of Goose. Diamond 2014 right behind them. Diamond Man trying to squeeze in there. Zaterup almost went off the track. The Dirt Police. Here's a story for you. First time in MEA ever. This is his first series with us, and his first week wasn't the best, but was able to make A lobby. Kind of tailed the field the whole race, and then obviously has flirted between the A and the B lobby the last few weeks, and he's in a great position right now, battling in the mid pack. Just got passed by SMX J Yankee, and J Yankee's another one of those really good consistent drivers out there that's been having a decent season. You see Fluffiti there battling with Track Johnny, and it looked like Zaterup was getting loose. And let's go check out that battle between Johnny and Feedy. And they're side by side, a little bumping and banging there. Looks like Diamond Man must have been the initiator of that Zaterup situation. So that makes this a 3-car battle for the 10th spot. And look at that, Feedy to the inside, a little crossover move right there. Wasn't able to complete the pass. Johnny got a nice little run through there. Diamond Man trying to hold on to that outside line of Feedy. Johnny, first week with us in the series. Did sign up in the beginning, but had another series going on, so he wasn't able to attend. Obviously, it's really hard to juggle multiple series at the same time, and that's definitely something that, can be tough. And it looks like Ink fell off the pace a little bit. But let's get back up to that prototype class. Here's GRT The Rock battling with SSR Bobberts for that 3rd position. Bobberts looks like he's got to run to that inside. And it looks like he might get this pass here. So Bobberts to the inside of The Rock for the 3rd spot. That gives Slapshift Racing the top 3 positions right now in this group. Meanwhile, SSR Shane, on the wrong person, I want to go to Shane, is tracking down SSR Nicole, but they're now getting into the touring car field. And let's get on board with Shane here, as Shane's trying to do a little of a crossover on Nicole. Nicole's going to have to... Whoa, Nicole took the wrong side and said, hey, I'm just trying to get through. And Shane can't be doing that, buddy. But he was trying to avoid the touring cars. But, we'll have to let that one go. But you got to be careful with that stuff. Nicole trying to avoid the touring cars, and good gracious. She cut over hard. I mean, it's the tough part about these races. is when you see these two classes go at it, they're trying to avoid ruining each other's races and trying to be as careful as possible to go around these cars. You can see them go by Proto. Looks like Outlaw there, still battling with Let's Fly. And they go right by their teammate, SSR Outlaw. they all go over the rumble strip there. And there's the battle for the lead, RBM Stance and SSR Yami. Nicole right there, and they're trying not to hit him, and was able to cut back over in time. And Shane's working really hard on SSR Nicole right now, and Nicole's just doing a really good job of keeping herself out front. Look at the Rock, though. He got a position back from Bobberts. Must have happened while they're cutting up through the touring car field. Bobberts tried to look down to that inside. The Rock trying to, woo! And Stance, that's why they were going down low, because Stance was right there. And look at this. Out. I mean, I thought that was Outlaw for a bit, but that was Yami. Yami's trying to avoid the battle here with the Rock and Bobberts. Let's go check out how Hydra and Scottson are doing. They got to be relatively near one another. They are, and they're currently in that hairpin right now. So those two are still doing some battling, and let's go check on what happened to Ink and see how far he's off. Oh, he's in the sand. Ink's in the sand. And Ink's just gliding in the grass. And here we go again with Ink. And there's RD Gansen. And it looks like Ink had pulled off to let all the drivers through. Not sure what happened. Yeah, I have no idea what just happened there. But yeah, it looks like Shane had finally gotten around Nicole for the lead. And Nicole is going to try to get aggressive with him. Meanwhile, The Rock and Bobberts still battling for that third place spot. And let's get on board with those guys. And Bobberts got to the inside of The Rock, but looks like The Rock's got the run. And he does. Bobberts dives to the inside, and look at The Rock. Got that run again. A nice little battle here for that third spot, and Bobberts might have the faster car, but The Rock is doing everything right to keep in front of him right now and making him work for it. And the most interesting thing about this race is to see how Hydra and Scottson catch up to these guys to see if they can get around and get back to the top 5, because obviously with their little hiccup, they obviously got shoved back a little ways into the field, and obviously the Scots have to go through the touring car field. We thought that Hydra might have been nice enough to wait up for him. For whatever had happened, we don't know. We missed that, but definitely affected multiple drivers in this race, with Bobberts included, and obviously Jansen, who probably got held up into the incident if whatever had happened. So here we are with a couple of different battles on the racetrack, and one of those obviously being Bobberts and The Rock, and The Rock opens the door, and Bobberts gets by. So now Bobberts can try to chase down the other two drivers, and let's see if Shane's put a gap on Nicole yet, because it looked like Shane had the better car. And so Nicole's starting to get a little bit distant from Shane. And let's go check out the touring car field. Let's get on there with RBM Stance. And Stance has had an interesting season as well. He's actually battling for the race lead side by side. Stance with the undercut. Oh, but he couldn't do it. And meanwhile, Scottson and Hydra, they're side by side. And I'm sure some of these touring car drivers are like, why are we seeing so many prototypes all over the racetrack? But, you know, it's one of those things. And Scottson and Hydra, squeeze in there through Stance. And Stance might have the better car here over Yami, and he's just going to have to try to find a way to get to Yami before the other prototypes get back there. But we got a third place battle again, and these two guys have been very close in the battle all season long, whether they were in the middle of the pack, the back of the pack, whatever it may have been. GRT Let's Fly and SSR Outlaw, you got to think at this point of the season they know each other kind of well. They've been battling in almost every race. So the first time we remember them battling is when they both in the back of the A lobby, and they stuck with each other the entire race. And we've seen them in a couple other of the races this season as well. And here they are doing a little work again. And look at the points leader back there, finally catching up to the group again. That is RD Brito, trying to catch back up to the pack, and he's got some ground to make up. Now he has a little bit of leeway in the points chase rate, or in the points battle, as he is your current points leader. Right now, race leader SSR Yami is out front, and obviously every position matters in the battle for the championship. I'm trying to see if I have the point sheet up. I can tell you guys exactly what is what. And Outlaw looks to the inside. Their little battle, though, is bringing Brito into the picture. And you know Brito wants to get a couple more positions back. Meanwhile, it looks like there's a battle between Yankee and Goose. And let's get on with Goose there, as he's trying to overtake Yankee. Yankee, Mercedes driver. I think he's the lone Mercedes in the field right now today. And, all right, so let's see what we can find for you guys in the point standings here. So right now, Brito is 13 points ahead of Yami in the championship. Zaterup's currently tied at third with Let's Fly. Meanwhile, Outlaw's fifth in the point standings there, so that's your top five. In the prototype division, we have ESV Scottson, who's currently the points leader over Hydra, and obviously those two are battling. It looks like Scottson had finally gotten around Hydra, but right here, here's your championship points battle. He's currently 14 points ahead of Hydra, and Hydra got those bonus points this week for being top qualifier. Meanwhile, SSR Bobbers is third, and he's quite a ways back in the points. And then Shane and Nicole are tied for fourth and fifth. Right behind them is RD Yanzen, and Numi, who's not with us here today, is currently seventh. So those are your points for both classes, where some of the drivers are at. And kind of the reason why we're riding along with these last two drivers in the prototype class, because they're the two drivers that are battling in that point stand, we just talked about. And these guys, Hydra was very respectable. I believe he didn't wreck. I think he waited up for Scottson after whatever happened between both of them. And they're definitely, they definitely want to have their own little battle, as you can see. And that's always nice to see. And Scottson trying to hold off Hydra here. And these guys are a little bit patient with one another. They've seen each other all season long. They are catching up to SSR Inc., who is having some complications, and it looks like we did see Bobbers overtake. So let's get back on to the touring car battle for the race lead right now. As SSR Yami is trying to keep distance from RBM Stance. And they're actually distancing themselves from third, fourth, and fifth right now. And oh, wait a minute here. It looks like Let's Fly has gotten a little bit of a gap on Outlaw. And I don't know what happened there, but Brito as well fell behind. So it looks like some battling between those guys had taken effect. Oh, and Shane and Nicole squeezing on in there in turn one. These two are just going at it right now. And Outlaw is going to want to think about just staying clear of these two because, but Nicole collides, and Brito collides with Nicole. They're just racing so hard with one another. There's Bobberts. Oh, Bobberts is into the picture now. And they're just fighting so hard through the field. Proto just got collected in that. Gosh, he lost so much time. Oh, and Bobberts glides into Nicole, and let's fly, and Bobberts hold on to one another. Oh man, the physics came into play there as well. And Let's Fly's like, all right, get off my car. As the Rock is now catching up through there. Let's see where Jansen's at. We haven't really looked at Jansen so much today. And RD Jansen, he's been in every A lobby this season, whether he's a mid-pack, rear pack, or he's been up into the front. We've seen Jansen in every A lobby race this season. It's his first time running an MEA. Glad to have him. It's always nice to see new faces, such as like GRT Let's Fly, SMXJ Yankee, SMX Wheelman, a whole bunch of others out there, the Dirt Police. You know, we've seen so many new faces in our last two events. It's really nice to see that the community is acknowledging us. And, we're just glad to have people partake in this. You see Jansen there, getting right underneath stance. And Jansen's actually tracking down the Rock right now. So I think Jansen might have the better car unless the Rock's just been getting held up, which might be what's been happening for him. And then we'll go back and check on Inc. There's SSR Inc. He's got Hydra and Scottson behind him. Let's go check out the mid-pack group. And Proto had fallen all the way back to 8th. Let's go check on Brito's car, see if there's any damage there. He's all right. So he's just having one of those tough races in the field right now. Brito's doing everything he can to not lose too many points. You know, right now he needs to get up past a few of these guys. Being that he's in the championship hunt, you know he's trying everything he can. Being the points leader, I should say. Yami's the one that's hunting him down and obviously leading this race. And Inc., Hydra, and Scottson are now coming through the field, and these guys really aren't. There goes Inc. Comes Hydra, Scottson. You want to get these touring cars on the straights. It's so much better for them. And obviously 3 wide over the line. Scottson squeezes right up there, and Scottson just squeezing in there as well. I mean, these guys are all over the track right now. And, you know, obviously going over that rumble strip can be very tricky sometimes, and that's why some of these drivers don't even take the chances of running on it. But look at this 4-car battle. Let's get on with Proto here from his point of view. And here's RD Proto, currently running 8th. He has an opportunity to move as far as 5th, which would be huge for him right now because he's fallen way behind from the guys that he was battling with Yankee and Goose there side by side. Yankee's got the pull on that Mercedes, but look, there is another driver. Looks like that is Nicole. She pitted. And you can see where I believe she pitted. And she's being patient. Oh my. Oh, this is kind of funny to watch. Goose has gone into the sand. And Proto moved right through them all, and he's back inside the top 5. Just little mistakes like that can cost you. It definitely shows. Looks like Outlaw's not too far ahead of these guys either, so Proto might be going after Outlaw here and try to get another position. And, you know, obviously every position matters, so we'll keep an eye on that. Let's go back up to the lead right now with SSR Shane. I believe Bobbert's probably getting close to... Oh, yeah, he's right there. So these guys are battling it out. gotta wonder when these two were gonna pit, because looks like Scottson and Hydra are already cutting themselves up through guys in the front of the pack. Track Johnny's coming out pits right now to get his first pit stop out of the way. And again, there's no mandatory pit stop, so this is all strategy, but for the more so for the touring cars than it is for the pros. The pros kind of have no choice. Their fuel actually runs out before their tires wear down, so it's actually the opposite. The touring cars' gas tank actually stays sturdy throughout the entire race, where their tires end up wearing out more. So you got kind of have two different mixtures in both categories, which makes it really interesting to watch. But you really got to think right now where Shane and Boberts are. They maybe want to consider it a pit. And what just happened? Hydra got into an accident again. Not what Hydra needs if he wants to catch up in the points. And going into that final week, next week at the championship race at Yas Marina in the dark, it's going to be one hell of a fight for many of these drivers battling in the points. And obviously, it's going to be interesting to watch, to say the least. And Boberts decided to make a pit stop, so we're going to find out if Boberts here is going to either get in front of Scottson or pull out in front of Scottson. Because right now, Boberts was getting held up by Shane for the majority of the last handful of laps there. So let's see what the points leader does. And Boberts does not get out of the pits in time. And he might get in front of Hydra, though. He does. So, cold tires versus run-in tires. Points hunter versus third in the standings. Fourth and fifth place battle right here. And Hydra gets a little nip on the back bumper there. Hydra to the inside of Boberts, clips the front, but he'll take over that fourth spot. Meanwhile, SSR Inc. He's getting prepared to probably take a pit stop here soon, as Nicole and Jansen are right behind him. And looks like SSR Shane is in the pits. He's going to be giving up to Scottson here. However, I think Boberts is going to get around him here with Hydra. And they do just that. And track Johnny in the middle of it all. And Shane's got to be patient. And he gets around him. So we'll come back and check on these guys in a little bit. Let's get on Stance here. Stance still tracking down the Yami. Hop on with Outlaw. He's catching back up to Let's Fly. Zaterup, currently the fifth place driver now as well. Oh, I believe we had made a pit stop-o. Let's see, let's check on him. He did, so Not sure what happened to Proto, but he's got some work to do. As GRT The Rock is currently the race leader, and he's staying out for another. And he's going to sneak on by Outlaw here. He's going to say hello to his friend in the other class. Little hand gesture as he goes by. We're going to cut that out. Haha, Mayhem, you're so funny. Yeah, I know. Anyways, so, but I believe The Rock will either be hitting this lap or probably the next lap, as it seems that he decides he wants to really, withhold this one. We're gonna keep it from happening. You see back there Hydra, Bobberts, and I would assume Shane's with them, from what it looked like. They distance themselves just a little bit. And Shane's got Nicole not too far behind, and she's trying to catch up with Jansen, and then Ink in turn 2 right now. And Yami and Stance have pitted along with Let's Fly, Outlaw. We'll see if Soterab stays out. He's one of those guys that usually stays out for another lap or two, and he will end up doing so with a bunch of others. And they're all going to stay out, so it doesn't look like anybody else is coming in this time around. Outlaw's also into the pits. I'm trying to get on somebody else that's on. We're trying to get on with other people right now. There's Dirt Police. Proto must have made a mistake battling with somebody, because he's behind right now, and there had to have been some sort of accident on the racetrack. So definitely unfortunate for Proto, as Stance and Yami are back out. We're going to find out who has the better short run car here, because it looked like long-term Stance was a little bit better. Obviously, with the Protos coming through, Stance has had to make some sacrifices on the track to avoid any further damage. But he's definitely doing a good job at catching back up to Yami. And we talked about Outlaw and Let's Fly, and we need to talk about Stance and Yami here. And these are two guys that have really seen each other all season long. I mean, there hasn't been a dull moment for these guys on the track. They've definitely been battling it out each and every week, and we've seen that wherever we've gone. I think outside of Virginia, and Stance has made Yami work for every bit of what he's got this season. So he's doing it again, and obviously Yami wants to finish really well. Obviously Proto, the points leader, is having to catch up, and Ink somehow rear-ended him. So check the race map real quick, and man, Proto's so far back, and you hate to see that. You hate to see the points leader struggle so much, currently, but there's still a lot of racing to go. We've only been a half hour into this one, so a lot can still happen. We've still got an hour left, so we're going to have to see what kind of run Proto can give us late here at Hockenheim, and he just didn't get that good start like he wanted, obviously. And currently a battle for the second and third positions. That is Fluffidi chasing down SMX J Yankee and MEX Soterab, and these guys had stayed out along with looks like Diamond Man right there, and who's behind Diamond Man? Oh, that's the leader. Well, the leader during the cycle, after the cycle's complete, Yami. So right now the top 4 touring car guys had stayed on the racetrack. The last 2 weeks have been reverse grid weeks, so a lot of these guys who've seen up front today had to work their way through the field the last couple of weeks. Lafiti trying to, I should just say FLA because that's their actual team brand. I just kind of easier to go say Fla. And side by side through the S's. Scottson had made another pit stop. And they stayed out on the racetrack again. Now let's check on their cars because they've got to be cutting tires down. They are. There's Yankee running the rear bumper Feedy, who got by him a little bit ago. And got a little loose off that apron there. And we always talk about that rumble strip off of one. It tends to be a problem for a lot of drivers. That's why you're seeing so many protos and touring cars either undercut it or a little bit overgo it, because when you ride on that rumble strip, it'll bounce the car depending on how low your car might be to it. So a lot of these guys are just trying to avoid further accidents, especially when you're battling with people you don't really want to get into that situation. So a lot of people making smart moves out there today. Feedy again. Inside. And you can see that straight line speed by Yankees Mercedes, and a lot of people, if you don't know, that Mercedes had to get changed after about the third race of the season. It was deemed to not only MEA staff but also the other drivers and a driver that was dominating in the car that it was a little overpowered. So we had to take off the front tires to sum it down a little bit, and obviously give some rear tires to the other three cars. And with those changes being made, it's made all four cars very competitive with each other and a more balanced field, and that's the type of things we want to have here at MEA. And we don't want to cheat anybody out. We don't want anybody to feel like, oh, that car was the better car. But at the same time, it's been good racing, and it's been a very fun season so far, and we're doing really good so far in this one. And they stay out again, so these guys are really wanting to push their cars, and I gotta think that, oh yeah, he did, okay. And there comes Yami and Stance, and Stance is right there with Yami, and Yami's gonna fight every bit of it, because the points are so big right now. If he can get that win today, that's about a 10-point gap from first and second. Now after that, the points sim down a little bit. So if Stance gets by him, that's huge for Brito, because Brito would then be able to kind of get relaxed a little bit. He's struggling though right now, but I believe once the top three drivers probably pit here, you're probably going to see Brito back inside the top 10, which is probably where he belongs right now, as he's back there in 12th, and actually he's still behind Diamond Man, so I am wrong. Yep, Brito's got a long ways to go. So if you're Yami right now, you definitely are comfortable, but there's still a lot of race to go. We still got about an hour left in this one, just a little bit under an hour, so anything can happen. Someone could wreck, touring between the two. I mean, you got two different types of cars out there, and we obviously seen that at Virginia, where patience could have been a little bit better for some drivers, but nonetheless, it definitely showed. And right now, Yami's really battling, and the Honda driver trying to squeeze in there to take over Chevy. And this is where the racing's going to get interesting. How much battling is Yami going to do? Because you got to think here. The more battling you do, the more time you lose. And though Brito might be back there, there's some other guys in the field that are not far out of the points hunt. I mean, Mexitera, GRT Let's Fly. I mean, all they need is a really good result, and they're back into the championship fight next week. Now, obviously, Yami and Brito have really been doing some battling throughout the series. And Yami, right now, racing against, I would say, one of his good pals in the series, because they've been duking it out since week one. And, obviously Vinny was not able to make it in today. And Playhard had elected before the race to drop out of the series due to his connection issues. And, there's a lot of what could have been in the event. And you can't always live off that because, you know, things pan out their own way. As here comes the leader of the prototype group, SSR Bobbers. He squeezes on by there. And the thing with the Protos right now between Bobbers and Scottson and Hydra is Scottson and Hydra had taken early pit stops. And during that second, I believe that was actually the first cycle of pit stops for everybody else, they decided to get back on that same strategy with everybody else. So actually, it's probably really close for them. Let's go take a look at that. So there's Bobbers, there's Shane, Nicole, Jansen, The Rock, and then you have Scottson, Hydra, and Ink. So they're all going to have to make at least another pit stop or two. And obviously Scottson and Hydra had to get on that same pit strategy as SMX, J Yankee, and looks like Saterap had pitted. Probably wrong, but who knows. And there's Nicole squeezing on by. And this time Stance isn't really having to worry about a whole lot. And there's The Rock and Jansen battling for fourth, and Jansen have caught up to The Rock. And just like that again, that's affected Stance. And Yami's been able to kind of stay out of the way for the most part. Stance has had to really work when these prototypes have shown up. So let's get on that fourth place battle, though. And Jansen and The Rock right now, fourth and fifth. And there's the leader, Bex Saterap into the pits to relinquish the lead back to Yami. So the touring cars pit cycle has been completed, and so has the Proto. So the scheduled first cycle for the cars, depending on class you're in, has been done. Obviously, a couple of drivers have had to make earlier pit stops, but they're still going, and no one's had any issues yet. This is always a good sight to see. I think Jansen did just take over The Rock, so we know that he was behind him before that pit cycle, and I did say that I think Jansen probably has a quicker car, and rightfully so as he got by him here. Let's go check out other battles on the racetrack. See if we can find any. Let's go check on Let's Fly instead. See where he's at on the track. We'll pull up the race map. Outlaw's actually catching him. The Saterap and Goose are battling for the fifth spot. Oh, and the Dirt Police. Those little blue dots, sometimes you can't really see them all the time. We are on the rear camera view. You see Prototype driver Inc. there, getting ready to come on by. And Saterap and the Dirt Police doing some battling with him. And if you watch the dirt police on that turn, you know, we talked about why some of the drivers will either undercut that corner, or not undercut it, but, you know, kind of go underneath the apron, or either go a little bit to the outside, because right there, you watch the dirt police, he got onto the apron of the rumble strip there. And as soon as he hit it, it bounced the car in the air. And sometimes when that happens, you can't control the car, and if you're in a battle, you don't want to risk not only yourself but the other competitors around you to get into the accident. So definitely, luckily, he saved the car. But but it looks like we have a disconnect, and an unfortunate disconnect, it looks like, to say the least. And that's SSR Inc. He's out of the race. So SSR Inc. is out. So that leaves 19 drivers on the track. All 12 touring car drivers still in the fight. And it looks like Brito's moved up some positions. Let's go check him out. Brito, he has. He was moved up to 8th, and look at this mess. Oh, Bobberts. And Bobberts is caught up into a 5-car showdown here. Holy moly. Bobberts is like, guys, get out of my way. I'm trying to win a race here. And Bobberts just trying to squeeze on by, and Bobberts able to hang on. So what a mess for SSR Bobberts to go through, but he made it work. FLA Feedy, track jockey, SMXJ Yankee, all hunting down Diamond Man here for that 9th spot. And I don't think they're going to catch up to Brito, so Brito has checked out of that battle unless something was to change. And their 2nd place driver, SSR Shane, he's getting ready to come through these guys, and if you're a prototype driver, you really don't want to mess these guys up, especially if you're by yourself. So Shane's just going to try to get on by and not make any problems of it. And Shane able to avoid hitting Brito there, thankfully. Brito's been not really getting the fortunate, drive-bys as other drivers have, but he's able to avoid the carnage there. FLA Feedy really putting the pressure on Diamond Man right now. And Diamond Man gets clipped to the back corner panel. A little bumpy there. Track Johnny. He looks to the inside after getting passed by Yankee. Not able to do it. Johnny again looks to the inside. Nothing there. And 4th and 5th place, I believe, are catching up. Nope, that's 3rd and 4th. That's Jansen and The Rock. They're still locked on, and they look at this battle, and they're thinking, we got some work to do. And, they're going to do everything they can to avoid these drivers, and this is not the best place to be as they're just catching the tail end of it. Side by side, going into 1. Feedy to the inside. Diamond Man to the outside. Jansen, he doesn't know where to go. The Rock says, hey, I'm going to hit the brakes anyways. Jansen looking all the way around. Jansen will go right up the gut. Look at The Rock to the inside to take over the 3rd spot now. Feedy to the inside of Diamond Man, side by side, coming out of the corner. Jansen still trying to get on the inside. The Rock looks like he has a little bit more straight line speed. Side by side in the hairpin. Still side by side. Jansen gets a little loose. Caught that apron just a little too much, but he's got the speed coming through the corner, able to get back to the end. He had to hit the brake right there. He had the momentum coming off the corner, though. They're catching up to Mexaterra, who's in the 7th spot right now. The Rock gets caught up by Zaterra and back over to Jansen for that 3rd spot. Now Jansen's got to try to avoid the carnage. Well, he goes to the inside of the dirt police. The Rock gets held up and the Rock's trying to avoid hitting him. Meanwhile, he gets to the outside of Goose, able to do it. And there's Scottson right behind there. Scottson trying to make light work of this mess. Ooh, but Goose says, hey, I'm gonna let you on by. I'm not gonna take the risk there. And then Hydra, he's also coming through now as well. Hydra being very patient. And then Nicole, looks like she just pitted. Yes, she did. Let's get back to that big battle of cars. And it looks like Yankee had gotten through them all. They got another touring or prototype driver. That's SSR Nicole. She's finally caught up to them as well. Now she's on a completely different pit strategy as the other prototype, so we'll see if it plays out for her. Whew, she barely squeezes in and was able to get back over to go under Yankee there. She made it look really, really dicey. And she was able to get around Brito without making Brito have to double think about anything. Track Johnny getting loose, battling for that 11th spot with Diamond Man 2014. And Diamond Man starting to fade off a little bit in this one. FLA feeding, which is that rumble strip just a little bit there. FLA feeding still trying to get around Yankee here. We got about 40 minutes left in this one. And it looks like Feedy's starting to fade off just a little bit here. There's certain sections of the track where he's been a little bit better than Yankee. It's just that straight line speed of Yankee's just been really good in that Mercedes. So go see if Outlaw and Let's Fly have come together yet. Outlaw's still trying to get to him. And whoop-de-doo, here comes Nicole. On by. And the Xbox app is messed up, so I can't check on FTB lobby. Guys are doing okay. I'm getting random online chats, or online notices, so I don't know how that's really playing out. And Stance still working, trying to get to Yami again. And Scottson had moved up to third, so I have a feeling that The Rock and Jansen must have wrecked, because I mean they were battling, but they weren't. So something must have happened to them, and Hydra's able to take advantage of a couple positions here. Jansen entering pit road. Jansen must have had some problems with the car. I'm not sure if he got to an accident or not, but he's got to get some things taken care of and back out on the racetrack. And apparently the Rock has taken no effect to it. So right now, their top 5 is really starting to take shape here. Shane by himself right now. He's quite a ways back from Bobberts. Bobberts is actually catching up to the tail end of the touring car field again. Now let's check on Scottson's fuel mileage here. Now he's down to 35%. Now this is the thing. Who's going to be closer to that gauge at the end of the race? Because right now, even though Scottson and Hydra are somewhat similar on the pit strategies right now, are they taking a risk of another stop? I don't know. And Bobberts, I think he will. He will enter pit road. He knows what time it is. It's time to get some tires, get some fuel, put back in the car, and get ready for another stretch. So we'll find out if Bobberts can make it to the end on fuel, or if he's got to make one more pit stop at the end. Shane goes in with him as well. Is Scottson going to go in? Probably not. I would assume that him and Hydra both stay out. They got about 35% left. I would be surprised. Nope, no, they're taking a pit stop. Scottson's going in, and Hydra's going in, and the Rock's going in, and, well, they're all in. Now, that might give Nicole the lead again. Nicole is on a completely different strategy, however. We're going to find out if it's going to cost her or not. And Bobberts is already back on the racetrack anyways. Shane's back on the racetrack as well. So Nicole has moved herself at least up to third. Meanwhile, here comes R.D. Jansen. He's going to take shape back into the picture as well. He got some fuel on that last stop, so he's very close on the cycle as well. So pretty much all the pros are relatively close to one another. So we're going to have to see how they play out by the end of this one, as this group's a little bit further back. But right now, the real question is, can Scottson and Hydra catch up to Bobberts by the end of this race? They still got to go around Nicole. They still got to go around Shane. And Nicole could possibly make it to the end. It's highly doubtful at this point. And we're still questioning if everyone else is going to have to pit one more time. But they've all elected to pit. Bobberts retaining that lead. Meanwhile, Yami and Stance, they're still duking it out. I bet them for a lap or two. I mean, it just looks like Stance has the better car by a smidge. I think Yami's done a really good job avoiding problems. Stance has kind of been caught up like Burrito had been throughout the race when it came to traffic and prototypes. So it looks like Burrito had made another pit stop, and he did. So Burrito, I think he's on his last pit stop. And if you look on the race map, you see that little red dot in all that blue. That's Bobberts. Behind him, the other two red dots is Shane and Nicole. And then you got Scottson, Hydra. It looks like Jansen. I could be wrong, actually. Let's go take a look. So there's The Rock, there's Jansen, Hydra, Scottson, Shane, or Nicole, Shane. Okay, so yeah. Oh, but everybody's making a pit stop in the in the touring car group. That's Outlaw, Goose, the Dirt Police, Diamond Man, Track Johnny. Let's see what happens here with Burrito. I want to get back on with Burrito. This is really important for Burrito as his teammate in the other class. Jansen gets on by him. Obviously, Burrito's just trying to make up all the time he had lost early in this race, and he's actually in. Whoa! And The Rock, last second dodge. I don't know if he was paying attention, if he knew he was a touring car or not, but definitely wasn't ready. It was all last second. Dirt police, Goose. So there's a good chance that Proto will at least finish 8th in this race. There's still plenty of time, but the question remains, how long or how much does he have to battle and avoid traffic of Protos, and how well Outlaw does by being consistent. So those are the two factors. Now, race leaders Yami and Stance have elected the pit. That leaves GRT Let's Fly on the racetrack, and Let's Fly will get his first lead of the season. GRT Let's Fly, he's been one of the more vocal drivers in the series. Obviously GRT Let's Fly is a quality guy, respectable, very, very respectable guy within the community. Always got those good spirits. He's very positive-minded and a good guy. If you ever talk to him, you should, because right now he's battling this guy, Mex Zatera, in the points right now. Battle for 3rd in the points. Neither driver got bonus points this week, so these two, whoever finishes in front of who today, will carry that into next week to see who can finish 3rd overall, because at this point, unless Yami and Proto make some type of major mistake, and obviously Proto right now is just recovering from a bad start, they're basically going to be battling for the 3rd overall spot in the championship. Now here's the 2nd place battle. That's starting Nicole and Shane. They've been looking at each other the entire race, back and forth, but Nicole on a little bit more of an earlier pit stop cycle. Now we are about a little under halfway. I would say about we're 27 minutes out till the end of this one. So it's getting good. There's a lot that could happen. The big story, however, isn't so much in the touring car class as it is in the prototype class. And Hydra, Scottson, obviously earlier mistakes. Those two right here. They still got to go around these 3. Shane, Nicole, obviously Bobbers, who's the race leader. Stance and Yami, they're still together, and they're really together, and Hydra needs to avoid them, and Stance looks to the outside, probably going to try to get a little bit more momentum off the corner, it looks like. Yami's led this entire race for the most part outside of pit rotations, and Jansen way outside of both of them, and Jansen makes a mistake trying to go by them, and Neil cut back to the inside. And Stance was very patient with Yami. He actually waited for him. I think Stance could have taken over the lead right there, but with the current circumstance, and here comes the Rock to the inside. And Stance, bumper to bumper with Yami, side by side in 2 and 3. A nice little battle there between Yami and Stance as they have to fight through all the prototype drivers as well. Looks like the Chevy's got a little bit more pace. And Stance to the inside for the race lead. It doesn't look like he got the run though. Stance has to get back in line. They still got plenty of time in this one. Like I said, about 30 minutes to go, so they don't have to get too crazy with one another, but they're definitely duking it out. And though it's 3rd and 4th, the pit cycles are still going on for this class. As we pull up the race map, you can probably see one of them entering pits now, and nope, Let's Fly is staying out. So Terrap is still there too. Okay, so side by side again, Yami and Stance. Look, Stance holds on to the outside line. They're still side by side. And Stance to the inside for the race lead. Side by side off of the final 2 corners. Yami just give a little bit bumper to bumper check there. And Stance just not able to seal the deal. The Chevy's definitely giving him. Giving Yami a little bit of an advantage there with the acceleration off the corner. But Stance is doing a very job. He's been very patient throughout this race. to get up to Yami. And oh! Stance is getting aggressive now. He's not taking any prisoners. Yami's just trying to hang on, and you gotta think if you're Yami, every point matters right now. You still got a couple of drivers not too far behind, even though you and Stance, they have checked out if you're Yami. But Stance is gonna have to stay in line again. Oh, he gets back to the inside again. Stance just not able to finish the deal there, and then here comes SMXJ Yankee, and he's got some friends. Well, a friend, FLA Feedy, who's been battling with Yankee the entire race, it seems. These guys have been doing some really hard battling, and it's kind of a similar situation for these two because it seems like FLA Feedy has had the better car throughout the smaller, those slower portions of the track, but with the straight line speed of that Mercedes, it's made up for all the time it loses, vice versa. So these two have been duking it out the entire race, and it's very interesting to watch, I believe. And Let's Fly did enter pit road. That's going to give Zaterra the race lead this time. And Stance, he's got plenty of time, but now he's got to try to fight up again, get to Yami. And this is what you want in a championship. You want the drama, you want the closeness, the battles, the points fight. And you're getting every bit of that and more because there is points fights throughout the entire groups. And obviously, next to tear up and Let's Fly, and then you got little battles on the racetrack between Yankee and Feedy. And obviously these guys are duking it out. Let's check out behind them. There's Let's Fly in 6th. He's by himself. There is Outlaw. You see him right there in the background. And SSR Bobberts is going to come and say hello real quick. And Outlaw's going to wave and say, hey, buddy, what's going on? That's his teammate. Well, obviously not in the series, but over, And Bobberts is running a really steady race. And then here's the Dirt Police. And he actually made a pit stop. Proto has fallen. Proto must have had another situation because he was up to 8th. Oh, you know what? There's a couple of guys that haven't pitted yet. That would make sense. So let's go check out these two drivers here, Shane and Nicole, as they are going on by Goose, and Goose says hello. Nicole's got about 40%. She's going to have, I believe all these prototype drivers are going to at least make one more pit stop. I think the guys that pitted a little bit late might be cutting it close, but we're going to see what happens. So anything can happen here. I mean, this is some really good stuff. And, I do know that the B lobby is probably getting close to being finished, so we're probably going to get some results. They actually got started about a half hour ahead of time, and let's see. All right, so yeah, we do have race results for the B lobby. It is TK Kagami with the race win in the B lobby prototypes. And then SSR Oval Racer outduels SSR Zoom and GRT El Ferenz as Oval Racer gets the win in the B lobby. So some good stuff there for those guys. And Nicole and Shane just dicing it up. Now, at this point of the race, if you're Nicole, you might be able to pit now, get some fresh tires on the car, and maybe get a little bit more of an advantage late in the race. But right now, everyone has their own strategies, and you can't always determine what someone's going to do. Hydra has caught up to Scottson, however, and Zaterra is. I wonder if Zaterra is going to try to go to the end. strategically, this isn't a horrible thing for Zaterep to try. And we're going to find out. Can Max Zaterep go to distance? He's going to be cutting it probably really close, but if the tires can hold up, then Zaterep should be able to make it to the end, I would think. Because right now, Yami and Stance, they're still back here, duking it out. And, you know, as a driver, you never really want to dominate a race. I mean, some people do, but there's a lot of guys out there that say, you know, I don't always want to be by myself up front if I'm leading a race. I want someone to push me. And, you know, right now I know Yami in week 1 said, you know, I wish I had somebody up there giving me a little bit more than what I was doing. But he's getting that today, and he's getting every bit of it, that's for sure. As Scottson and Hydra are going to squeeze on by, and then bumper cars. And Fluffini's getting a chance to squeeze in. And here comes that top speed of the Mercedes. Oh, but they collide! They connect! Yankee, Feedy! And that brought in Let's Fly, I think. Yeah, Let's Fly is now catching up to these two guys. And it looks like Outlaw almost went off the track. As I think GRT The Rock is in the back right now. Yeah, that's GRT The Rock. Jans is going to squeeze on by the other two guys. It's been an interesting race to watch for sure. Zaterep might make it to the end. Let's go check on his tire wear again. He was at about 58, I think? No, 51. So about 3% a lap. The laps for them are about a minute and a half, a little over a minute and a half. There's a good chance that Zaterep can take this car all the way. This can be a huge strategy. Now, we've seen this, ladies and gentlemen, before. We've seen this. We saw this with SSR Yami in week 1 at Silverstone. Tried to go the full length of the race. He was only about 5 minutes short of the race timer to win it. And obviously, that really affected him in the points. And ever since, you know, he said, I wish I didn't do that, but I wanted to win the race. And Max Zaterep, this could be a big part for him right now, because this is giving him a chance to maybe go the full distance of the track till the end and get that 3rd place position overall going into the final week. Not only that, but to creep himself up in the point standings, and maybe after everything's calculated, he might be able to win the championship. So this is going to be really interesting to watch, because that 1st place points, those are big points to have. So we're going to have to see what happens here. The Rock had to go outside. There's SSR Yami, still battling the stance, and we should check on these other drivers too. I mean, what if Yankee's trying to go to the end? What if Feedy's trying to go to the end? Yankee's tire wear is a little bit higher than Zaterep, so is Feedy's. They're actually relatively close, so they're both about 60% range, but they got about 46% fuel left. Meanwhile, Let's Fly has the better tire wear because he actually pitted about 5-6 laps ago. And so he's got the better tires. And we're going to stay on this battle now, because it's a 3-car battle for the 4th spot. I mean, we're talking about some strategies here today, ladies and gentlemen. I think we're seeing the prototypes, the pit strategies. Obviously, mistakes had happened between Scotts and Hydra, and they're trying to fight their way back up to get back into that that top 5 mix and possibly win. But right now, Boberts is leading the charge and leading the charge successfully. Meanwhile, we have, what if scenarios here as Zaterep stays out on the racetrack again. And you got to also think, what if Yami and Stance get to the Zaterep? What if? And what if Zaterep's plan is to go till the end? I mean, you don't know these things, and obviously this could shake up for a very interesting finish. So it looks like Stance is caught back up to Yami again. And he's on the rear bumper. And Stance is probably going to start putting a lot more pressure on Yami as we get down to the last 15 minutes, it looks like, of this race. And you see the acceleration of the Chevy, it definitely gets him out of the corner a lot better. Does Stance take another chance, though? This is where he's caught him, but he's never been able to really successfully get him in the hairpin. And so he'll stay behind him again. And Stance trying to just stick with him, trying to find the right spot to take over that position. I mean, I think it's fair to say at this point in the race that Stance has had the better car, just Yami's been able to hold him off. And Yami's also been able to stay out of trouble, so that's been a very important factor for him. Unlike his points competitor right now that he's chasing down, Burrito is running 10th. So Burrito's not in a horrible spot, but obviously not in the spot he'd like to be in right now. Let's hop on with Burrito real quick and check on our points leader right now. He's currently getting passed by 2 of the prototype drivers. And he's actually catching up to, it looks like, SSR Goose. So Burrito might get inside the top 10. It's just going to take a little bit of an effort, a late effort charge here. And again, the what if scenarios, because not only that, but SMXJ Yankee and FLA Feedy, they're still out on the racetrack. What if their tires died out? What if they have to make that last second pit stop? I mean, these are questions we don't know about just yet. And obviously, they're about mid 60% of tire wear. Now, that left front of Feedy's is his factor right now. I think it's the opposite for. Oh no, Yankee's got. Well, it is more so the left, but Yankee's got more tire wear in the front right as well. As he tries to hold off GRT, Let's Fly. Now, the difference is for the touring cars is obviously it's not just how much gas you have in the tank, but the fact that you can determine when you want to make your pit stop based off your tire wear. Now, some of these guys probably planned their race plan for the race. Some of them had to make it as the race has gone on. And if you're someone like Scottson and Hydra, you're adjusting to the early pit stops that you had to make. But, right now, if these guys know they can make it to the end, that's huge for a couple of these guys. But if you're risking it all, and we have a Yami situation happen again, and we just have to use Yami because he's the only one that's had that problem this season. I think maybe one other driver did too. Then you risk not only that, but that hurts, Yami in the points as well, because then Burrito's going to get those positions more than likely because of how difficult it is to drive that car once it hits that 90-95% marker of tire wear. So it just comes down to seeing what happens. Now, here comes SSR Nicole. And Nicole is getting held up. She just went into the grass. And that's just what happens sometimes when you're trying to get around cars and trying to stick with the driver in the front. And Nicole obviously on a completely different pit strategy. She's going to sneak on by both of these guys now. She really snuck by those guys. She actually gave herself so much space she wouldn't come near them. And Nicole says, I'm not even going to attempt that. And there's Hydra and Scottson. They're in the midst as well, and woo, they squeeze on by, and Let's Fly gets that pass on Yankee. Meanwhile, Outlaw was trying to track these guys down, battling, just didn't look like he didn't have enough time to do so. Let's hop on Goose and see if he's still in front, and he is, but Burrito looks like he's catching up. And The Rock sneaking on by him. And then we can go back and check on Stance and Yami. And she's able to squeeze the gap, but here comes two more. They should be able to squeeze on by on this straight, I would think, and they're going to. Made real quick work of it. Yami's just defending for his life right now. That's all Yami's doing. So I think it's fair to say at this point in the race that no, we do not want to leave. But Zaterep is I don't want to leave. Zaterep is risking it all to go to the end. Now he's got the best of the three drivers we saw stay on the track. His tire wear is now just getting into the 70s, and I believe that's within the last 10 minutes. So Zaterep might have got the strategy down, and he's definitely still got a little gap on the guys behind him. So we're gonna see how much longer Zaterep can hang on, but the one thing that Zaterep has going for him is this. They're battling. So the more battling, the more they lose. Now they're probably gaining if they're not battling too much. And Stance got a little bit underneath the Yami there. Now not enough to get under there completely. And let's go check on Feedy and Yankee. They're cutting it super close as well. We know that Let's Fly can make it to the end. Oh, but Yankee's got. I think Yankee's gonna need to pit. Yankee's risking way too much here, and you gotta think he's at 85% tire where he's gonna need to pit. I don't think you risk another lap. I think you come into the pits or you run into that whole Yami scenario, and I think he's gonna stay out for another lap. Yeah, I would have pitted there, Yankee, but maybe he knows something we don't, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, but Yankee clips the rumble strip. And that gives Outlaw that position for 6th. Alright, let's go check on Bobberts is still out there. It looks like Nicole had to make her pit stop. Oh, Nicole's out of the race. Not sure if she disconnected or what, but she's out of this race. Tough luck for SSR Nicole, as there's this battle between Hydra and Scottson. The points battle, actually. Oh! Hang on to it, Hydra. Scottson to the inside of Hydra, side by side in 2. Hydra goes to the inside, comes back to the outside, 3 and 4. And Hydra going back in front. And Scottson to the inside of Hydra, swapping positions. It's their fourth swap this lap. And Scott's back to the inside. Hydra trying to hold on to the outside line. And you got Track Johnny right there. He's running 12th in his first race of the season. We'll pull up the race map here, and if you look down at the right hanger there after the hairpin, that's the 3-car battle for the lead between Zaterep, Yami, and Stance. Zaterep, oh, look out! And Scottson clips into Diamond Man! And, you know, that was very unfortunate. It looked like Scottson had a big run. Diamond Man was already looking to that inside line, committed to it, and obviously got clipped by Scottson there. And Hydra back to the inside. Oh my goodness gracious. Hydra's just overdoing the hairpin each time, and Scottson back in front of him. Oh boy. The gas mileage is, it's gonna be close. Let's check on Bobberts. These guys are on about 16, it looks like. He's on 14. So they're probably maybe a third of a lap, maybe a half a lap. Can Bobberts get his first one on the season? And here it is, the battle for the race lead. Zaterep, Yami, Stance. Oh man, this is gonna be really close for Mex Zaterep. He's getting into 90% left front. And Zaterep side by side with the Yami for the race lead. And Yami gets the lead back. Stance side by side with Zaterep now. Stance with the undercut. Look at this move. To the outside. And there's Bobberts. Yami holding on. We got battles all over the racetrack, and still Scottson and Hydra are duking it out. A lot of fighting going on. Only a few minutes remains. Can they hang on? Oh, Scottson gets really hard rear-ended by Hydra. Oh, they're just fighting hard right now. That's all it is. Battle, battle, battle. Hydra knows he needs to get in front of Scottson. Hydra's fighting so hard right now. RBM Stance. It looks like Yami's holding on to the inside line there that time. Oh no. Uh-oh. Oh, wait a minute. That's the end of the race. Yami gets the win over Stance. And Bobberts gets his first win on the race season. And those are your results. So Zaterep's strategy worked. He was able to hang on for oh wow, what a strategy by Mex Zaterep. We're gonna get the post-race interviews here real soon, but what a race. And Shane and Bobberts played it well, was able to stay up front and not make any mistakes. We're gonna get post-race interviews here very soon. And Yankee just unfortunately was not able to withstand the longevity of the race. And we're going to get some post-race interviews coming up next with all the top 5 guys, and we'll get a chat with each and every single one, and hopefully I know Stance will probably not be able to. He doesn't speak English, but that's okay. And I think Outlaw finished top 5 as well. Let's go take a look here. Yeah, he did, and we'll get him in here as well. And probably one of his best results of the season for sure, so I'm sure he's very happy, and we'll get the prototype guys in here as well. I don't know if I got Outlaw's invite, and then this is just a lot of invites. I do know who I need, though. So let's just get these guys in here, and that's Bobberts, and we need to get Shane. He's got to figure out who finished 5th. Where's Scottson? There he is. And once we get all these guys in here, we will begin the interview process. And I think I have sent an invite. Who finished 5th? That's R.D. Yans, and I don't know if he speaks English or not, though. Probably doesn't. No, he already left anyways. But anyways, here's your final results once again, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll get talking to the drivers here momentarily. But SSR Bobberts, your race winner after some wild racing here today in the prototype class, and then SSR Yami with his win on the season as well. And we're going to start with the touring car class here real quick. And I believe the first one we would be talking to is SSR Outlaw. So you guys that just joined the party, please turn on your party audio, and we will begin. But Outlaw, what a season it has been, and talk about the ups and downs throughout the season for you. And obviously, running late there, a couple of the drivers on the racetrack elected to not make another pit stop. Zatara, Yankee, Feedy, and obviously Yankee got the short end of the stick of those groups, but that was able to get you into the top 5. How hard was it for you today to get yourself in there? And it seemed like a lot of fun racing out there for a lot of guys.
I'm just glad that I was able to make it to the top 5 after getting caught up in 2 incidents, honestly. I mean, there's not much else I can say about that race. It was fun running with Let's Fly at the start, for sure.
And you know, Outlaw, we've talked about the up and down parts of the series. This is definitely your best result of the season. What does it mean for you to get a top 5 finish? I know you've had your ups and downs throughout the season, but this has to feel good after a long season.
Oh yeah, I'm glad I finally pulled it off, because what is this, week 5? Week 5 with no top 5 starts.
And obviously, you're battling for a top 5 in the point standings, but congratulations on a top 5 finish, Outlaw, and we're looking forward to seeing what you can put on to next week, so congratulations.
Thanks.
And the next man to talk to, GRT Let's Fly, and I believe this is the first time we get to talk to Let's Fly this season, and just make sure you have your audio on Let's Fly. But take us through your day. You and Outlaw battled for so long. You got caught up on your own, and then there late at the end of the race, you found yourself between 2 drivers who decided to try to beat the time frame in the hope that their tire wear didn't wear off, and obviously Yankees did. How hard was that for you to catch up to them and to overtake them late?
Yeah, the race was great for me. First, my English is not too good. It was a great race. The first round with Outlaw was so funny and so great and so fair. A lot of fun. The last part of the race was also great. I see the next round against Marina.
And you said it right there. We go to the championship round, and you're actually in the championship. You and Zaterap are in the picture, but it's going to take a lot to get the title from those guys against Proto and Yami. But you guys are battling for 3rd in the point standings right now, and you guys are literally only a couple of points apart. How tough is it going to be for both of you guys to outdo the other?
I don't understand this question, sorry.
Oh, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Well, congratulations.
Okay.
On a top 5 finish. Let's Fly.
Thanks, man.
And we're gonna move up. And we're gonna move up to the
podium.
Oh, that was for you, Yami. And we're gonna congratulate Let's Fly on his first top 5 of the season. And then we're gonna move up to Mex Zaterap, and Zaterap, talk about almost. You decided to stay out on the racetrack, just like Yankee and Feedy did. It almost worked for you. You were about a minute off, and obviously that your tires got to a point where it was starting to get really hard to drive, but you were able to finish in front of Let's Fly, and that gives you the overall 3rd place points right now. What's it going to take for you to beat Let's Fly? I know you guys haven't seen each other a lot on the racetrack, but you guys have swapped positions to put yourself in that position. And just take us through your race today.
It was a really fun race for me. I took the risky part with what pit stop. It was a risky load for me, but I managed to somewhat finish the race by almost no tires. And in the last minutes, I was passed by Johnny Strands. It was a difficult battle for me, but in the end, it was good for me because I managed a podium finish. So I think that, and also with the last race, it's going to be interesting in the last race because we are not from far from the points. So it's going to be interesting in the last race.
Well, nonetheless, Tereb, just like you said, you guys are literally probably a couple points apart. So either one of you can take that third spot overall, and obviously if something dramatic happens with the two top drivers in the points, there's a chance. But congratulations finishing third overall today.
Thank you.
And we would talk to RBM Stance, but I know he doesn't speak English, so just to give a little breakdown of Stance's race today, he finished second overall right behind Yami, drove an extremely hard race. I think he probably had the better car, but Yami was just able to hold on, stay out of trouble, and avoid all those issues. But once again, congratulations to Stance on his second position. And then the race winner of the touring car class, SSR Yami. Just make sure you have your audio on. And Yami, it never got dull for you in that race. From the start of the race till the end of the race, you ran for your life from Stance. You battled him. He tried to get you a couple of times, just wasn't able to get it. It seemed like the only area where he really took the chance was down in the hairpin, and the acceleration of the Chevy just, got you out of dodge there. But you battled so hard, and obviously at the end of the race, you had to get to Zaterup and was able to do so. How difficult was that for you today?
Well, a lot of defending, I'll tell you that. But yeah, me and Stats have had a pretty good fight the entire series, pretty much every single race. It's mostly all been between me and him. And he did have, like you said, he had the better car and he had the better tune. But it was all a matter of just being able to survive the entry and just getting him on the exit. That was all that mattered.
And we talk about how close you are in the point standings, Yami, with Brito, and Brito definitely did not have the best race today, but he was able to finish 9th overall. And how tough going into next week? You guys are going to be right there in the battle. Obviously, this is probably Brito's worst finish of the year, but you guys have been duking it out all season. Just take us through what you're going to have to do to win the title next week.
Well, Yas Marina's a tough track for sure. And I'm pretty sure that the Audi will have an advantage on a lot of those sweeping turns. But there are a few corners where the Chevy does have an advantage. But it comes all down to pretty much who can race without making a mistake, considering how difficult the Yas Marina is of a track. So, we'll find out when the time comes.
Well, it's definitely going to be interesting to watch, and you guys are definitely going to be ones to keep an eye on going into the final week. But congratulations on another win this season, Yami. I know it's been a struggle up and down, but able to seal the deal against one of the better drivers in that touring car class. Congratulations once again.
Thank you.
And we're going to move up to the prototype class. R.D. Jansen, I would talk to him, but I know he doesn't speak English, at least from what I know. So his breakdown was he started about mid-pack, got caught up in some stuff, had to catch up through the field, and was able to get a top 5 finish. And obviously that's starting Nicole. Unfortunate pit strategy, and not sure if she dropped out or had a disconnect, but was able to get him inside the top 5. So congratulations to Jansen. And the points battle, we got Jim Hydra here. And Hydra, what a race for you in Scotland today. Obviously it didn't start as planned. Obviously you guys had to catch back up through the field and take a couple of extra pit stops where a couple of the other guys didn't. And you guys at the end of that race swapped positions nonstop. It was a little wild for you, but still in the championship points. Obviously, you wanted to get in front of him. But you got the bonus points this week. What is it going to take for you next week as well to win the title and take us through your race today?
No break, Scott.
And obviously, what happened to you in Scottsdale at the beginning of that race? We actually were on the touring car class when it happened. Can you take us through that?
I was right behind him in the draft, and I was so close. I was actually skimming the rear bumper, and I just braked a millimeter too late, and it just sent them into the wall. So it was all marginal though. It was just caused that.
And we saw you kind of had the gap there. Didn't think you made a mistake. It looked like you waited up for Scots, and is that what ended up happening there?
I didn't have to, but I thought I'd make it interesting just for fun.
Well, nothing wrong with that. Good sportsmanship. Well, obviously another top 5 finish on the season. Going into the final week in the championship, you guys will be ones to keep an eye on. It's one of the closest battles in MEA history, so looking forward to seeing what you guys can do next week. Congratulations on a top 5 finish today, Hydra.
Thanks.
And moving up to the points leader now, ESV Scottston, and obviously we talked about the incident that you and Hydra had, and obviously you guys had to really put in the work there to getting back into the top 5, and obviously a couple of disconnects might have not even mattered, but your race obviously didn't go as planned, but you guys were able to finish top 5, and how much fun was it for you at the end of that race to go back and forth with Hydra?
Yeah, I mean, we got unfortunate start, but it's been the second race. Hydra's probably one of the best drivers of Forza right now. I mean, it's always fun to battle. You know what I mean?
And Scottston, we talk about we did talk about, not you and I personally, but earlier this season, that we've seen you kind of had mistakes in some races back in the Prototype series and fought your way up, even in season 1 when you came from last to try to catch up to Markey in the final week, and you're now the points leader going in, trying to get your 2nd title. I believe Hydra's going to try to get his 3rd title in MEA history. What is it going to take for you to not only beat out Hydra, but hold him off and steal this one?
Unless my maths is wrong, all I need to do next week is finish 2nd. Could be wrong on that.
Well,
if that's
obviously,
not the case, then I just try and ride to the best of my ability.
and obviously, we said it's going to be close, and obviously today getting a spot ahead of him really does help because you were already leading. But congratulations, finishing 3rd overall, and what was probably a difficult race to get back from, but able to do well, and so congratulations to that.
Thanks, man.
And runner-up, SSR Shane. And Shane, you can turn on your mic now and click on that audio box so that everyone can hear you. Shane, just take us through your race today. You were able to really make things happen with, the situations that you guys were in. You battled with SSR Nicole for quite some time. How difficult was it for you today?
Well, in the beginning, the first few corners I was in 5th, and yeah, so Scott and Hydra crashed, so yeah, I couldn't take advantage of that. So I came in 2nd behind Nicole, and I had a close battle with Nicole, she in front of the Mercedes stands, I braked too early, so she crashed in me, so yeah, she made a mistake, and then she crashed, so she needed to go in the pit. Yeah, and after that I could drive away, but still Roberts was too fast, so she caught me. And after that it was just a great race, man. I enjoyed it.
And obviously, this is your best finish on the season, and it's been a fight for you all season long. How difficult has racing every week with some of the best guys in the series been for you?
Well, it's the difficult person is Nicole. She's fast. She's just as fast as me. They're like the same. So every race it's a battle with her almost. So she's my nearest rival, and today I caught her up. So I'm happy with that. So I'm happy to finish 2nd.
Well, congratulations on the runner-up spot, SSR Shane, and going into the championship week, I'm sure you're going to give everything you got, but congratulations on your best result of the season.
Yes, thank you, man. Thank you.
And the winner of week 5 here at Hockenheim in the prototype class is SSR Bobberts. And Bobberts, what fortune circumstances you were in, obviously able to catch back up to not only Nicole and Shane, and obviously you and GRT The Rock battled quite a bit for a while there. It seemed like The Rock was just able to hold you off. But then once you got past him, you got up there, you got around Nicole during some traffic issues, and then obviously eventually you got past Shane during a pit cycle. And with the whole situation with Scottston and Hydra, they had to make that extra pit stop, but you seemed to be clicking on all cylinders once you were on your own. It seemed like you didn't make many mistakes. You did have a little instance, one of the prototype drivers at one point, but it didn't affect you too much. What does it mean for you to get that win this season? Obviously, a difficult group of drivers to race against.
it means that I've only got one series now where I've not picked up a win, I guess you could say, so I can keep that streak going. I mean, I'd like to thank Hydra and Scotstoun for their incident at the start. I mean, it's unfortunate. I mean, it was, it's fine margins, but it really did help for me. I did have a good start myself. Lost a few places as it was, but yeah, managed to get through the fields eventually. And as you said, when I got into the net race lead, it was just, I'm not going to say I was cruising, but it was more comfortable for me. And don't get me wrong, I had some good battles with Shane, with Nicole briefly, with The Rock, obviously with Hydra as well when I was with him. But and I apologise to Goose for hitting me off. That was really it was an unfortunate incident, but I enjoyed that race.
And Bobberts, you're currently third in the point standings, and you probably have a comfortable spot sitting there third overall. A little bit too far out to possibly snag the championship, but you never driven prototypes before. You came into the season with a little bit less experience in these cars, and as the season progressed, it seemed like you got a little bit more comfortable with the car. How much of an experience has it been for you? And not only that, going into the final week, what are you hoping to get out of?
Well, obviously, I guess my goal as such is to just keep the consistency going. If I can get another podium or even another win next week, I mean, it's a tough ask, but if I've been improving every week and getting closer to the likes of Scotstoun and Hydra and Vettel when he was here, as the weeks have gone by, then what's to say that I can't battle them more often?
And that's a good mentality to have. And congratulations, Bobberts, on your win today. Obviously, definitely well earned, and we're looking forward to seeing what you can bring to the table next week. So congratulations.
Thank you.
And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to go through the results real quick so that everyone can get a rundown of where everyone finished. In the prototype class, SSR Bobberts, your race winner. SSR Shane's finishing second. Third, ESV Scott's, and still your points leader as he edges out Hydra at the end there just to keep ahead in the points a little bit more than where he was. And that would be Hydra fourth, and then RDE Gansen, which I believe was his best result on the season, fifth, and then GRT The Rock finishing sixth, and his first A-Lobby appearance this season. Did a very good job on the racetrack, so very good job to him. Obviously, SSR Nicole with the unfortunate circumstances late, finishing seventh, and then whatever happened to Inc., he finished eighth, so probably disconnect. And then we have the touring car group. SSR Yami, your race winner. RBM Stance gave everything he had, but wasn't able to do it. Now he finishes second. MEX the Terror had to stay on the racetrack and risk it all, and was able to get the top 3 spot. GRT Let's Fly had to do some battling, but was able to get back into the top 4. SSR Outlaw with one of his best finishes of the race season, finishing fifth. FLA Feedy, he stayed out on the racetrack, and he basically did the same pit strategy as the Terrap, and he was able to work out for him, finishing sixth. The Derp Police getting another top 10 on the season in one of his better races, so congratulations to Derp Police, seventh. SSR Goose, we knew he ran good last week, had another decent week this week, he finished eighth. Ninth will be RDE Brito, who was your current points leader. Now we just have to wait till the points pan out, but goes into battle with SSR Yami to finish out the season in one of the closest championships we've ever seen in MEA. And then Diamond Man 2014, he got the last spot due to a driver not able to make the race. He finishes 10th. Track Johnny finishes 11th, and then the unfortunate circumstances for SMXJ Yankee, as he was only a few minutes out to sealing the deal of a top 5, but was unable to do so, and he rounds out the 12-car field. I'm SSR Mayhem. We thank you for watching week number 5 of the MEA Proto Orca and Touring Car Championship Series. We go to the championship round next week at Yas Marina at night, as we find out who's going to crown the first ever multi-class series at MEA between the prototypes and the touring cars. Thank you all for watching, and we wish you all a good night.